Hello, welcome to Joy Newsroom with me, Sweetie Abochi, for today, the Sunday, the 15th of September 2024. Coming up, Forestry Commission officials bust armed illegal miners who have pitched camp in the Subri Forest Reserve in the Western region. We will be there live on the ground. Leave a good legacy of a peaceful 2024 post. That's the African Union High Representative's call to President Akufo-Addo as he urges Ghana to improve on the poor record of violent 2020 election.
And it should not be under the watch of Mr. President with his antecedents in democratic building in this country that Ghana will experience violence and mayhem during its general elections.
It's the final day for the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair as exhibitors promise to shower prospective customers with mouth-watering discounts. We'll take you live there on the ground for updates. You want to stay with us for details coming up shortly. My name is Sweetie Abochi. In our first story, the Rapid Response Team of the Forestry Commission has raided the camp of illegal miners, destroying important sections of the Subri Forest Reserve near Benso in the Western region. 4 Ghanaian armed miners who were mining illegally in the globally significant biodiversity area of the forest have been arrested. 5 pump-action guns and 77 ammunition were seized. 3 excavators have been burnt and other items found on site handed over to the Takoradi police. Sources say the miners, backed by some faceless influential people, have laid siege for days in the forest, destroying significant portions of it for gold. The suspects have been identified as Inusa Yusuf, Issa Seidu, Shadrach Yolson and Emmanuel Adawusu. Similar attacks on some reserves across the country have degraded significant portions of Ghana's forest. The operation was carried out by a joint rapid response team in the Takoradi Forest District on Saturday. Moving on, former Dean of Medical Science at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Daniel Ansong, has called for enhanced training for public health professionals to tackle the health dangers posed by the Galamsey menace. According to him, heavy metal exposure from Galamsey activities poses serious health risks to both adults and children, underscoring the need for capacity building in this field. Professor Ansong made the call at the 10th anniversary launch of Ensign Global College, where the institution unveiled a new academic program aimed at addressing the public health threats posed by Galamsey. Carlos Caloni reports.
The 10th anniversary launch of Ensign Global College in Kpong in the Eastern region coincided with the matriculation of 25 new students. As a leading global center for top-tier public health certification, the school is introducing innovative academic programs to address emerging public health issues posed by the Galamsey menace. Speaking to the press, board member and former dean of medical science at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Daniel Ansong, called for increased training of public health professionals to combat the growing health risk posed by Galamsey.
As a public health institution, they need to be training public health professionals who can be able to work and find out problems that Galamsey is associated with, both right from childhood to adulthood. Exposure to certain heavy chemicals can harm the human being. And therefore, as a public health institution, it will be good for them to have initiatives into training and building capacities for their professionals to be able to conduct scientific research into the areas of illegal mining.
Ensign President Professor Stephen Alder called on the government to address the Galamsey crisis by taking a comprehensive approach that tackles the root causes of the issue.
Our recommendation is to be able to have assistance in providing that systematic understanding, and look at those points where effective change can occur. Too often, I think, as we're trying to make changes, whether it's this or other issues, we look at the surface, yet we don't get to the very heart of the matter. And so understanding what is behind the activity, what is leading to the pollution that comes from this, what is continuing this type of activity, we need to understand it so we can find solutions that will not only bring an end to it, but find a way out that provides constructive avenues for those who are currently involved in this practice.
Meanwhile, some matriculants express optimism about deepening their knowledge to tackle public health challenges caused by the Galamsey menace.
Once the chemicals affect the water or that we drink, definitely people will have some aspect of it affecting the eye. Yes, and it's an area that we want to do a research or look at greatly.
There's a need to intensify some public health policies and then law enforcement. The policies are there, but now I think that is the enforcement of the laws that is much more of a problem.
The Yilo Krobo Municipal Director of Health, Irina Ofe, highlighted key impact made by the Ensign College on its host community since its establishment 10 years ago. For Joy News, Carlos Caloni, Bong.
And now let's get into our election headquarters, which is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, Energizing Dreams, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty, as well as Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. In our first story from the election headquarters, the African Union High Representative for Silencing the Guns, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers, has called on Ghana to distinguish itself in the upcoming December elections. Delivering his speech at the maiden edition of the Diplomatic Honors in Accra, Dr. Ibn Chambers sent a direct message to President Akufo-Addo to leave a good legacy as he exits the scene as Ghana's president and ensure a peaceful election and redeem the image of the current following the loss of lives in the last election.
Excellency, Mr. President, with all due respect to Mr. President, the 2024 elections are all about legacy, the president's legacy. And it should not be under the watch of Mr. President with his antecedents in democratic building in this country that Ghana will experience violence and mayhem during its general elections. Please, Mr. President, make it your pledge, your mantra, your cardinal goal to deliver elections in which not a single Ghanaian blood will be shed. 2020 was to some extent a blur on our enviable record in delivering non-violent elections. Let it not be repeated. Let us draw a line.
To the security agencies, the former Under-Secretary General and head of the United Nations Office for West Africa asked them to avoid the use of lethal weapons during the polls and remain fair and impartial arbiters.
Security agencies, both General Jidoho again and I have had the privilege of working with our men and women in uniform in several peacekeeping missions, and they have an enviable reputation. They have often acted with commendable professionalism, winning the respect of citizens in missions in which they have been deployed across the world to protect vulnerable civilians. This same level of professionalism is called for during the deployment of our police and armed forces included during the forthcoming elections. Use of lethal weapons is totally uncalled for. The police and their uniformed personnel must take the primary responsibility, with the armed forces in the background coming in only in rare and exceptional cases. We expect our service personnel to be neutral, apolitical, and indeed even-handed in their operations. They should deploy in a manner to ensure the security of the entire process without being intimidating or a deterrent to the citizens coming out in their numbers to exercise their franchise freely and without fear.
Still on Dr. Ibn Chambers and to the Electoral Commission, the doctor says it is not too late to build trust in the commission and the process. He urged the commission to consider publishing polling station results on their website during the polls.
It is not too late to work to win the trust and confidence of all parties and stakeholders in the electoral process. Specifically, ensuring the publication of polling station results on the website of the Electoral Commission is one measure that will greatly advance and enhance the credibility and transparency of the process. And this will sound like music to some of our partners here who have made this recommendation time and again.
The two leading contenders in the race, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and John Dramani Mahama, whom he calls brothers, were not left out. He further called on the people not to take the peace the country currently enjoys for granted, while calling on the media and other stakeholders to remain responsible.
It frankly shouldn't be, as the country is blessed to have two fine gentlemen, two remarkable personalities, indeed two brothers, I almost said two of my brothers, who have each made significant contributions to peace and development in our country, facing off at the presidential election on December 7th. One, a former president, and the other, the incumbent vice president of the Republic. It cannot be, it should not be, and it must not be that it will be during their election that Ghana's democracy will suffer a regrettable, violent downturn. It is the shared responsibility of all Ghanaian citizens, all stakeholders, to deliver credible, participative, violence-free elections. CSOs, the media, traditional and religious leaders, public intellectuals, the private sector, also the contribution of local, national, sub-regional and continental and international observers, with our partners supporting, are called for. All must play their respective roles as expected under the law.
Moving on, Member of Parliament for Wa Central, Dr. Rashid, has assured Ghanaians of the unwavering commitment of the National Democratic Congress to restore the country to its former glory. Addressing party supporters at the party's campaign launch in the Wa Central constituency, he stated that corruption, nepotism and cronyism, which is the bane of the NPP administration, would be fought tirelessly should the party be given the nod in the December general elections. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
They are back to the stomping grounds. Vetendamba Primary School, 4 years, served as a pad where the campaign of the Wa Central National Democratic Congress, NDC, is always launched. The venue overflows with faithful supporters of the party, clad in the party's colors, who have shown commitment, dedication, and resolve for the party to win the 2024 general elections. Since the return to constitutional rule in 1992, the NDC has won 8 parliamentary elections, half of them launched and won here. The biggest beneficiary being the leader of the Upper West Region's Parliamentary Caucus, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo, who is seeking his 6th term in Parliament. He assured a slew of party supporters of plans by the NDC, led by John Dramani Mahama, to reset Ghana with a sea of opportunities for all to better their lives.
The young person who is suffering because he is neglected by this party will get a job to do. The women who are neglected because they are NDC, will get jobs to do. We will open a women's bank. We will make sure the student who wants to enter the university for the first time will be able to enter the university with your fees paid. We will make sure that a young person who wants to do business will be trained in entrepreneurial skills and given power and given money to go and do his own job. We will change Ghana. We will reset Ghana. We will make sure Ghana is a different place. We will bring back the dignity Ghana enjoys. We will make sure corruption, nepotism are all gone. They are dead. We will kill them and go free. So we will regain our freedom, and we will rebuild Ghana and reset Ghana under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Some of his colleague members of parliament also graced the occasion. Gender activist and renowned journalist Shamima Muslim then goes for the jugular of the MPP, urging the people to vote massive for John Dramani Mahama to reset the country to its values.
We are changing and we are resetting. You cannot upgrade a faulty, collapsed foundation. Nobody can upgrade corruption. Nobody can upgrade nepotism. Nobody can upgrade cronyism. Nobody can upgrade state capture. Nobody can upgrade lies and deceit and wickedness and divisiveness. We can only reset back to our values with the people we know their character. The people who have done it before. The people who have shown us integrity. The people who have shown us accountability. The people who have been with us for the longest period. Come December 7th. So will amount to here. A vote for John is a vote for women, women inclusion, women empowerment, disability inclusion, children protection, the elderly protection. A vote for John and Jane is a vote to change this country back to winning ways.
Upper Sujan chairman of the NDC, Abdul Nasser Sani, popularly known as Chairman Bonas, outlined the job opportunities that the NDC intends to roll out should they be given a nod in the December polls. In between the speeches were performances from local musicians, namely Prince Karim, Gali, and Records, which erupted the crowd into frenzy. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
From Wa Central, let's go to Wa West, where Member of Parliament, Superintendent retired Peter Laichintobu has stated that politics is not all about looking for votes, adding that the responsibility of a politician is to support in the transformation of lives, presenting branded exercise books and pens to final year learners of junior high schools in the Wa West district. He noted that the responsibility of a brighter future depends on the proper development of current generation of children. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam again.
5,000 exercise books and 2,000 pens valued at 25,200 Ghana cedis were distributed to 80 schools across the Wa West district. Basic 9 learners or final year students of the schools are benefiting from the donation from the Wa West Member of Parliament, Superintendent retired Peter Laichintobu. The legislature has education as one of its topmost priorities. About 2,000 basic 9 learners across the Wa West will benefit from his benevolence. He was personally involved in the symbolic distribution of the branded books and pens in the Taningna DA and Chokse Junior High Schools. Written at the back cover of the books is a beautiful cow statement of the MP aimed at inspiring them to greater heights.
A former student of this school and now an honorable member of parliament for the Wa West constituency. In schooling in Prayentana, my village of birth, and Tanina in an era where there was no electricity, no telephone in the Upper West region at the time, could not hinder my progress. Then you can do better than me. You can create a better future for yourself if you take your studies seriously. In you lies the power to change your community. In you lies the power to change your region. And in you lies the power to change our homeland, Ghana. Do not let anything stop you. I believe in you.
One wonders in a political season, instead of concentrating on where the votes will be, he rather chose to focus on learners who knew little about the polls.
Life is not all about voting. Life is not all about looking for a vote as a politician. A politician's responsibility, first of all, is to support in the transformation of lives, making lives better. And I believe if turning out will be better, the young people who are standing by me here carries the weight to transform Tanina, and I believe in them.
Authorities of the various beneficial schools were grateful to the legislature for a kind donation. So too was the Wawa District Director of Education, Ametis Tukun, urging the learners to take care of the books and pens.
We have many places, we have many districts, we have many schools in other parts of the country, even within the region. But you cannot see what is happening today in some of the districts. You cannot see what is happening here today in some of the regions. For the MP to have this to be distributed to our candidates, in fact, we are very, very, very happy for him.
Grandmothers from Chogosie could not hide their excitement, singing and dancing their hearts out. Reporting for Day News, Rafik Salam, Chogosie.
In other stories, running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, has tagged persons in the Ashanti region who vote for the National Democratic Congress as, quote, nation workers, unquote. Speaking to a crowd of NPP supporters during the Mesia South Health Walk in Kumasi, Dr. Prempeh said the NDC has a history of neglecting the Ashanti region and that voting for the party would be a betrayal of the region's interest. Reiterating the party's commitment to securing 85% of votes in the region, Dr. Prempeh urged supporters to remain loyal to the party by ensuring victory in the upcoming election. Nanabuachi Adam has more.
The New Patriotic Party's running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, and other leading members of the NPP joined the parliamentary candidates for the Mesia South constituency for the Maiden Health Walk, targeted at securing victory for the party in the December polls. Addressing the crowd, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh said the 2024 elections remain critical for the NPP.
Dr. Prempeh and the lawyer Bafo when you are trouble Ghana. You trouble Ghana. I was MPP qua, not MPP Abba, MPP qua.
I beg you, after the 2024 election, we won't vote in Ghana again, because after our success, the NPP will win over and over again.
The mother of all about Ghana. NPP4, Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia.
He says the NDC has a history of neglecting the Ashanti region and that voting for the party would be a betrayal to the region's interests.
NDC for Ashanti region no bugu national health insurance. On the capitation buyer and the work as may catch them over Ashanti region. Now to Obama NDC,
do you remember that a former president refused us development? It is only in the Ashanti region they collapsed the health insurance policy and they brought capitation. You are a nation wrecker if you are in the Ashanti region and vote for the NDC.
Yes, Osi onti Ethiopia. Yes, Bekania. Osi onti Ethiopia. Osi enyamuno aduane we didi nyire akan kase no so wa fifim.
The NPP General Secretary Justin Frimpong Kodria entreated party supporters to campaign vigorously for victory.
90% turnout over 75% voter. The association yes enka
if we don't get over 70% in the Ashanti region, we won't get what we want. If we want development, let's campaign vigorously for victory.
The president no yetime to aso a ene yesi campaign de na yewura Dr. Mamadou Bawumia ene napo ene lawyer Bafo omutimi dinkunim.
Nana J. Bafo Ewa is the NPP parliamentary candidate for the Mensha South constituency.
Doctor, omosi
Mensha South remembers your good work, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe. For Joy News, Nana Boachi Dankwe Yadom, Komasi.
That ends our stories from the election headquarters, taking us into a short break, and we will return with more news stories. You're still watching Joy Newsroom with me, Sweetie Abochi. Moving on, the Coalition on Family Values March is increasing pressure on Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono to expedite the empaneling of the Supreme Court for a ruling on the two pending cases related to the Family Values Bill. The court had originally scheduled a ruling for July 17, 2024 on Dr. Amanda Odoi's injunction and Richard Delasky's application against the anti-gay bill. However, the ruling was deferred due to concerns about prejudice from related cases. At a press conference in Accra, MP for Ningo Pampram and a leading advocate of the anti-LGBTQ+ bill urged Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono to avoid any further delays and promptly empanel the court to address the cases. He also announced that the coalition has decided to postpone its planned protest to October the 8th with the intention of intensifying pressure on the Supreme Court to act swiftly on these matters.
There is no matter before the Supreme Court that is more important than a determination on this matter, which stays the hands of both the legislature and the executive. There is no case before the Supreme Court of Ghana today that affects both the legislature and executive, for which reason we believe that this must be primus inter pares. There was a quorum judgment in support by His Lordship Justice Yoni Kolendi. We believe that and hold the view that in light of the judgment of the Supreme Court in that case, which deals extensively with the same matters raised by Amanda Odoi and Richard Delasky, the Chief Justice must empanel the Supreme Court and determine the matter in tandem with what her colleagues in that panel have done, with alacrity. Because this matter is one that stays in the hands of both the executive and the legislature. In light of this, we have decided to postpone the Family Values March from the 17th of September to the 8th of October to allow for the political demonstration to happen and all of its consequences to be done. And then the next available dates which we're able to arrive at with the regional command is the 8th of October.
Meanwhile, board chairman of Advocates for Christ Ghana and a key figure in the Coalition for Family Values March, Edem Senanu, expressed frustration over the court's inaction. He said after 8 weeks, the court has yet to provide a timeline for the case, despite the urgent interest from over 93% of Ghanaians for a clear update from the Chief Justice. regardless of any legal vacation.
When on the 17th of July, the panel that sat said that they would afford a timely hearing of the matter, we expected almost immediately, within at least 2 to 3 weeks, that the schedule for the hearings of these cases, if the court was so minded to get into the substantive matters, that schedule would have been provided so that the 93% plus, as you remember the CDD report of 2019-2021, indicated that over 93% of Ghanaians have a certain view on this practice, and that position is no. So if you have 93%, as we know in law, good law is dependent on what the majority believe the norms of the society should be. Nothing could be much more critical than ensuring that the 93% of Ghanaians and their interest in this matter is addressed. And so it's unfortunate that going 8 weeks plus, there is no feedback. Our research shows that various jurisdictions across the globe ensure that even within the legal vacation, all courts sit. There is the arrangement, because justice must be efficient and justice must be delivered for citizens, that even when there's a legal vacation, courts sit and make sure that substantive matters are addressed. And so we find it very curious that such a matter, which is at the heart and very pressing for 93% of Ghanaians, has not found the hearing of the Supreme Court of Ghana.
Let's do some stories from the education sector. And the Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum, has expressed concern over the politicization of education, cautioning that hasty political promises and criticism could undermine the system. He rejected accusations that the government has ruined the education system, calling such allegations as, quote, slash and burn, and, quote, political strategy. The minister argued that education should not be used as a tool to score political points or criticize reforms without consideration. Here's a report by Clinton Yeboah.
The implementation of the free SHS policy has come under criticism, with the opposition National Democratic Congress promising a review of the policy in its first 100 days in office. The double-track system has particularly been cited as a failure of the education system. Minister of Education Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum, however, believes otherwise, as he calls for a more constructive and non-political approach to education.
When they come into government, education under attack. If you cancel double track now, private college will not be able to accept one student. All those high demand schools cannot accept any student. So when we look at education as a political playground, where we can just say whatever we want to say, education is under attack. If you're giving the opportunity to move on beyond 2024, all the new schools that we are building, a number of them, I will affiliate them with existing high-performing schools. And in no time, those schools will become like the high-performing schools.
The minister was speaking at an event by the Guidance and Counseling Unit of the Ashanti Regional Education Directorates in Kumasi. The event assembled educationalists, school heads and students of senior high schools to assess commitment and actions needed to avert disruptions in education. It was in commemoration of the International Day to Protect Education from Attack under the theme Safeguarding Education, Empowering Minds and Shaping Futures. Deputy Registrar at the Directorate of Student Affairs at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Paul Kwajo Ado, believes heads and school authorities wield the responsibility of protecting school settings.
The role of teachers in ensuring that we have a conducive environment. As I said in my presentation, instructional time is so important. That's the reason why we go to school. But we often see teachers using that instructional time for something different from what they are supposed to do. So we want to ensure that teachers keep to the reason why students go to school. And then students, among themselves, they also attack each other. Bullying is becoming like an accepted norm in our schools. So it is very critical that we plan and then we have quality measures in place.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Still on education, the Minister Dr. Yaosei Duchum is asking Ghanaian students who will be admitted into American universities to bring back knowledge acquired to impact the Ghanaian society. This was after it was revealed that Ghana ranks the second largest sender of global students studying in the United States of America. Dr. Duchum has been speaking at an Education USA fair he jointly opened with the U.S. Ambassador Virginia Palmer. There's more in this report.
The college fair, organized by Education USA, is aimed at providing comprehensive information on American higher education to prospective students. Addressing the opening ceremony, United States Ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, indicated that Ghana now ranked second amongst the index of African countries sending students for studies in America.
Ghana has been very successful in sending students to the United States. Ghana is the second largest sender in sub-Saharan Africa. And Ghana is 14th largest sender globally of students to graduate school in the United States. Again, tribute to the fact that Ghanaian students are so strong.
Minister for Education, Dr. Yaosei Duchum, urged prospective students to utilize the opportunities so they could contribute to the growth and development of Ghana.
I want to wish them the best of luck. But America is one of the greatest nations to have higher education in. They will challenge you. They will make you a critical thinker. And I hope that they will come back to Ghana after the education to contribute their quota toward the transformation of the country.
Hurdles in visa application processes have been identified as a major setback to the opportunities offered by the American universities. However, Ambassador Palmer says the concerns are being addressed.
We did more than 10,000 interviews. And we have increased the staff at the embassy doing visa work by more than 50%. The backlog is a function of COVID still, and it's a global problem. It's also, unfortunately, a sort of byproduct of how strong the relationship is. But I don't want the United States to look unwelcoming. We really want Ghanaian visitors and Ghanaian students especially to come to the United States.
Some tutors and prospectors who were present at the college fair had this to say.
Study USA, I believe, is a big opportunity, especially for us who are always looking for opportunities to help our students expand. This year, we are looking at taking our students places. So this is actually the place for us to help our students, get to scout or look around for the schools that they are really interested in, and you never know.
The US has a lot of educational opportunities for students. So a college fair like this very often offers the students the opportunities to meet the universities one-on-one so that they get to know the requirements from the universities themselves and then prepare themselves towards that. Education USA is a U.S. government-sponsored network of 450 centers in 170 countries around the world. Blair Sugan's report for Joy News, Accra.
Landlords and tenants can now settle accommodation-related issues online without having to be present at rent control offices. This has been made possible because the operations of the Rent Control Department have gone digital. This initiative seeks to make the department's process more efficient and effective, reduce costs and improve productivity. There's more in this report.
Rent Control Department under the Works and Housing Ministry, as part of measures to streamline its operations and enhance service delivery, has now gone digital. In the recent past, people used to queue from far and near to resolve rent-related issues as well as make enquiries on available rooms for rent in parts of Accra. But this situation is set to become a thing of the past because of the digitalization project. Speaking at the launch of the first phase of the digitalization project of the Rent Control Department, Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, Dr. Prince Amid Ama, said the initiative will save landlords and tenants from frustrations associated with accommodation issues as well as help them to reconcile on rent disputes.
The new system will allow, one, the landlords and tenants to interact with the department online, eliminating the need for in-person visits. Whether you need to register a property, or you want to file a complaint, or resolve a dispute, you will now be able to do so from the comfort of your home or office. Second is automated processes. We'll support everything from registering properties to processing complaints, ensuring that every service is delivered efficiently.
On his part, Chief Director of the Works and Housing Ministry, Stephen Yao Osei, said the initiative will bridge the gap between the services of the department and landlords.
The core objectives of the projects are to, number one, automate the routine tasks of streamlining processes with the aim of reducing processing times for rental applications, complaints, and inquiries. It also to enable landlords and tenants to interact with the rent control department from anywhere in the world.
The aim for digitalizing the rent control department is to make renting accommodation accessible, efficient, and responsive.
Now, Lakeside Estates Limited has launched Ghana's biggest water park, known as Marina Water Park Zone 2 in Accra, as part of its grand vision to transform it into Lakeside Marina Theme Park. It is designed to accommodate 300 people daily. Managing Director Dr. Prince Ayiku notes that the facility will give individuals a place of relaxation and create memories while providing job opportunities for all.
Our inspiration stems from the fact that we want to create a space where families and individuals can relax and have fun, where memories can also be created. And this is in line with our vision of creating or planning a real estate company that will not only focus in developing houses, but putting in place a system where the residents within the community and outside the community, including Ghana, can have a place to relax, have fun, have parties, so that children can not only be behind sets, but can come out and then have a lot of fun and then make them happy. That is what we have done. And I believe this is going to open this place for a lot of people who are living within Lakeside Estate and outside Lakeside Estate to be here. Thank you very much. It's also going to create a lot of job opportunities for the young ones who are coming. And then we have a lot of big visions. And I believe this is just in fulfillment of part of the vision that we had in this year. Thank you.
Thank you. How about security, people coming around? How are you assured? Are they seeing any assurance to parents?
Thank you very much. We have a well-trained staff at all the attractions that will make sure that our children or visitors who visit the park are well protected from any form of risks. Our team are all trained, and I believe when you come here, you meet a team that will handle your children very well. So security is our top priority when it comes to this park. So we invite everybody who want to have fun to visit Lakeside Marina Park and make sure that you will live here having a lasting memory at the park.
Deputy Director of Hospitality at Ghana Tourism Authority, Ama Akuto, commended management of the Lakeside Marina Water Park for putting such a recreational facility up and stressed on the need for relaxation.
I'm excited to stand before you today as we officially open the gates to this incredible water park. I stand to be corrected, but this facility seems to be, if not the second, but maybe the first of its kind in Ghana. So I want to say congratulations to the owners of the facility for this valuable addition to the recreational experience, especially to kids and adults in Ghana. It surely must be a proud and memorable location for the Lakeside community, and we, as an authority, that is the Ghana Tourism Authority, are equally proud to be associated with it. This water park is more than just a place to cool off during the hot summer months. It's a symbol of fun, of adventure, and of the joy that comes with creating of creating memories with our loved ones. As we gather here today, I am reminded of the importance of recreation and leisure in our lives. In a world that can sometimes be overwhelming and stressful, this water park offers a much-needed escape, a place where we can let loose, be ourselves, and simply have fun.
Ecobank Ghana PLC has refurbished 4 hospitals at a cost of about 410,000 Ghana cedis to the Ghana Health Service and some selected health facilities in the Greater Accra region. The donated medical equipment, which includes infant radiant warmers, a mechanized borehole, and a refurbished health center, aims to enhance maternal health care services in these regions, aligning with the goal of achieving universal health coverage. Stephen Mensah was at the handing over ceremony and reports.
Ghana PLC, as part of their corporate social responsibility with a focus on improving maternal health care, has presented essential medical equipment to the mother and child unit of the Abokobi Health Center to help improve maternal health care services. The donated items include infant radiant warmers, mechanized borehole, and a refurbished health center. Philip Bettino is the Chief Internal Auditor.
Let me start by thanking the management of Abokobi Health Center for giving us a chance to be here for this donation, which has now been institutionalized as an annual program of Ecobank Ghana PLC. We are indeed delighted for the opportunity to contribute towards the refurbishment and equipping the maternity unit of this hospital. Ecobank Ghana remains committed to supporting people in our communities across the country as a meaningful contribution to the development of the African continent.
William Asari Dria Ampofo, project lead, indicates that the donation reflects Ecobank Ghana's commitment to re-equipping health facilities to enhance the quality of maternal and newborn services rather than relying solely on government support.
When we always base our ideas on government, nothing will be done. There's need for other sectors that people need support, and we can also go there and help them as well.
For Joyce Mause Adams, administrator for the Abokobi Health Center, the initiative is timely in preventing infections while providing good health care.
For the past 10 months, water has been a big challenge in the community. So we always rely on the polytankers to bring us water, and sometimes you have to wait for them the whole day because there are 7 other people also in the community with the same challenge we are facing. This will go a long way to help us in our infection prevention, which is very vital in our services to our people and to also our clients.
The Ecobank Employee Volunteerism, currently in its 2nd year, seeks to improve the capacity of health facilities in target regions to deliver optimal quality maternal and newborn care.
Former President John Dramani Mahama has commended the Chief Executive Officer of Smiria Health and Wellness Group, Seth Kwe, a non-member of the Assemblies of God, Ghana, for generously donating 150 acres of land valued at $2 million to support the church's centenary project. Mr. Mahama extended his commendation during a handing over ceremony in Accra, where global church leaders gathered to receive this remarkable gift from the youngest evangelist. Carlos Caloni reports.
The 150 acres of land, valued at over $2 million, located in the Greater Accra region, was donated to the Assemblies of God Church by the Chief Executive Officer of Smyrna Health and Wellness Group, Seth Kwe. The land will serve as home for the church's centenary project and its International Convention Center. During the donation, the General Superintendent of Assemblies of God Church, Reverend Stephen Wengam, assured the leadership of the church that all necessary due diligence had been completed to verify the land's authenticity.
I'm glad to announce that a 150-acre land for the project was donated by a gentleman called Seth Quay, who is not a member of Assemblies of God Ghana. And to prove the authenticity, he came with the former Minister of Greater Accra, Honorable Futagbo, who is related to him and the chief in that area, to hand over the documents of the land to the executive presbytery. I mean, the reason why I am confident, there is a mountain on the land, a lake on the land, and the engineer, the topography makes it easy to construct on the land. And it's a 2-minute drive from a highway. We have done a background check on him. He is correct. I mean, I will not go and collect something that will bring embarrassment to me in future. Ask him. It took us almost 6 months before we accepted the offer.
Former President John Dramani Mahama, a dedicated member of the church in the company of global leadership of the church, commended the CEO of Smyrna Health and Wellness Group, Seth Quay, for his generous donation to God.
The plans for the International Convention Center, we also, I want to add my voice to General Superintendent to commend and thank very sincerely Mr. Seth Quay and his partners for this very generous donation that they have made to us.
We are presenting this plaque to our donor, and I'll read the citation.
Evangelist Seth Quay, who said the donation was born out of his love for God, was honored with a plaque as prayers were offered in gratitude for his dedication to God. For Joy News, Carlos Galoni, Accra.
Be refreshed.
In our last story, the curtains will soon draw to a close on the final day of the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fair. But exhibitors say they have more goodies for prospective customers who will make it to the fair at the Accra Mall today. So do well to pass by the Good Park at the Accra Mall for all your housing solutions. And that's how we're wrapping up for Joy Newsroom for today, the 15th of September 2024. My name is Sweetie Abochi, but do log on to myjoyonline.com for more news to keep you updated. Many thanks for your time.